Hello and welcome to the Stash Down Diaries. My name is Jen and this is my YouTube channel where I talk all about my knitting with a focus on trying to use up my stash, as the name suggests. I am coming to you from beautiful Cape Breton Island in Atlantic Canada. It's part of the lovely province of Nova Scotia, if you've never been. It is a very snowy day today. I just kind of want to go to bed. Well, it's not that late right now. It's like, I don't know, 8 o'clock or something. Anyway, if you're new here, you may not know that I have a dog who is at my feet right now and probably going to bump the phone stand, and two 10-month-old kittens who like to wreak havoc in the background of my videos sometimes. I snuck upstairs. The three of them were asleep in the living room. And of course, immediately Ginny followed me upstairs, and then Maisie was close behind, and now Piper is up here too, so they just won't give me a break, and there's no point in closing the door because they will just scratch at it, especially the dog. So anyway, I do have, if you're new, I have clips at the end of my videos usually, and this one is very pet heavy, so you get to see a lot of cuteness if you enjoy that type of thing. So I did not record last weekend because I was in Sydney at my parents', and I did not record this past weekend because same reason. By the time I got home, it was just too late to gather everything up and figure out my Piper. I'm gonna give her a second to jump back up on the futon. There you go. Okay. Yeah, there was just not enough time for me to do up my show notes and everything. So I thought I'd wait till today, and then I had to shovel and different things, so yeah, it's later than usual. I don't know how this lighting is gonna go, but I think it'll be fine. So I have a bit to talk about since I haven't been on last weekend. What will I start with? Well, obvious one is acquisitions. There are none, as usual. I don't foresee buying yarn until March, I would think. I'll probably get myself something for my birthday. So that was acquisitions. Let's talk about finished objects. And I had these in my previous video. I can't remember where I was, but anyway, they're finished. These are my seed pod socks. There we go. I love the like motif at the top, little like cabling, little seed pods, you can see them. They are by Helen Stewart, and they're part of her Handmade Sock Society, which is like a subscription kind of that you sign up for, and she releases patterns intermittently throughout the year. I think there's 5 or 6, I can't remember, but these ones were from the 2023 one. No word yet on if she's going to do a 2024. She usually starts them in like March or April, I can't remember. Maybe even later, and it might be like one pattern a month, I'm not sure. She's usually done them all before Knit Vent, I think, which is another one that I sign up for. But anyway, love her patterns. This yarn is Smash Knits, which is a indie designer from, I believe, Manitoba. And I absolutely love that pink color. I love these two colors together. The pink color is called 36, and the purple is called, I don't know how to pronounce it, Amarantine or something like that, which is basically just the color name. Like if you're looking it up in Pantone or whatever, that's what it would be. It would be this. Anyway, yeah, I made these for myself, and I did wear them. That's why they're kind of stretched a little bit. They were very like blocked and beautiful before, but yeah, they're still beautiful now. Like, but yeah, they're a little stretched because I wore them. Anyway, so that is my first finished object of the video, and I will talk about my other finished object when I talk about month of Scrappy knitting, because I will talk about that at the end of the video, or towards the end. So I might as well just go right into the other socks I cast on because it's the same yarn and the same designer. These are Helen Stewart's Altitude socks, and you know, same yarn from Smash Knit, same colors. And I decided to like reverse them to try to use up the yarn a bit, although even after this sock with the toe, there's still like quite a bit left. So I'm gonna have enough to add to another Scrappy project. But yeah, I love these. This was really fun to knit. It's just a little more interest than a vanilla sock. And like there's nothing on the back, so you get a little bit of a rest here and doing the patterning here. And I enjoy the stripes. So those are the Altitude socks. And this is what I've finished so far. I doubt I'll have them done by the end of the month because there's only 2 days left. So anyway, so that is those. And they're living in my So Sandy Sew bag with the unicorns and the little fairies. 2024 I am calling the year of the garment because I am getting a little bit more into garment knitting. I've knitted a few sweaters in the past, but now with all the inspiration I'm seeing, I really want to knit more. And I have sweater quantities in my stash that I want to use up. So you've seen this on previous videos, if you've watched the previous videos. Hi, Maisie. She has the cutest little squeaky meow. But anyway, this is my love note. I have bound off the body and I am getting ready for the sleeves. Now this is where I was in the last video. And really enjoying the knit. I semi-tried this on, like because of my waist yarn, I can't get my yarn through the holes. My arm through the holes. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have enough yarn left over of this one to make a pair of socks, so that's kind of exciting. I do enjoy having yarn left over for other projects. It's like the scrap yarn builds up, but it's still kind of fun to have like that extra thing. So the yarn is Lizzie Ann, which I don't think is available anymore, but that was another Canadian indie dyer that I really loved. This is the Toasted Marshmallow colorway. And then I have it held with Sandnesgarn Tin Silk Mohair, and this is in the Almond colorway. Now, I was going to cast on another sweater, but as I was working on this, I was like, I could either cast on another sweater or I can finish the body on this one and like have that accomplished at least. So yeah, that is that. And I am going to, I don't know if I'm going to start the sleeves before I cast on my next sweater, or if I'm just going to start the next sweater and kind of do a tandem thing. So I'd knit the body of the next sweater and then do the arms on this one and then the arms on the other one. I might do that. Just, you know, to break up the knitting the same sweater. The other one is like right here. It's waiting to be cast on in this lovely Fat Squirrel Fibers bag. But anyway, so that is my love note. I don't think I mentioned that it is by Tin Can Knits. They are one of my favorite designers, like the pair of them. And for this one, I used their new app and I'm really enjoying it. The big thing I love about it is that you pick your size and it only gives you the instructions for that size through the whole thing. So I'm not like trying to remember which size I picked, because I run into that issue sometimes. Especially if I'm using an app. I usually use the Knit Companion app. And then I used the Knit Companion app for this when I got to when I was doing the lace section, because the Knit Companion app has this handy dandy little highlighter bar that you can highlight your row that you're on with, and I really enjoy that. So yeah, I use the Knit Companion app for that section, and the Tin Can Knits app for the rest of it. And both apps are free. If you pay for the Knit Companion app, it unlocks like extra features. I haven't done that. I think it's extra features, like, so if you're doing like multiple types of cables in one project, it'll split them up and stuff, but I haven't run into anything that I would need to unlock the extra features for, so I have not done that. And the Tin Can Knits app, they don't have all their patterns on it yet. They have their that collection they did for beginner knitters. I can't remember what they call the selection, but there's like the barley and the flax and the wheat, maybe rye. I know there's rye, but that collection, that's all in there. And the Love Note, I think, was the first of their paid for patterns that they put in there. We'll have to check and see if they added any more since then, because I could be wrong. Anyway, so yeah, that is my Year of the Garment project, and I guess I'll talk about Saltwater Stash Down next. So away I go knitting through the Saltwater Mittens books. This one is, the pattern is called Mug Up, and they are trigger mitts for women. And I am this far along. Yeah, so I'm using Briggs & Little Heritage in the Plum and something Fog. Oh, I know this. Fundy Fog. See, I should know Fundy because it's after the Bay of Fundy, which is in my province. So, yeah. This is I'm on round 2 of Saltwater Stash Down. So this is the second pattern of the first book, the Saltwater Mittens book. And when I'm finished this, I will move on to the second pattern of the Saltwater Classics, I think was the second one. Yeah. I have it all figured out in my pile downstairs. So I was going to knit a second pair of these immediately after these ones, but I think I'm going to knit something else and then come back to that. Another pair of these, a neutral colored pair. So I'm going to do color and then a neutral. And yeah, I always love knitting these. Very enjoyable. These trigger mitts are very popular where I come from, so I'm probably going to sell this pair to somebody I know from my search and rescue team or from work. I have a pair of these and I love them. But yeah, they are a little bit fiddly to work on, but I've learned to troubleshoot some things that I was having trouble with. Like I would end up with a pucker on like the finger and a pucker like on like my floats would be too close together. So I looked at YouTube videos to try to counteract that. Basically, you have to push your fabric flat as you're going from one needle to the next, and it works out pretty good. And then this will be blocked, so the stitches will relax even more and it'll be even nicer. But it's like there's a tiny bit of pucker there because like that's the way they're laying all the time, like flat like that. But I think from my past experience knitting these mitts that the stitches will relax when I block them, and then it'll look a lot better. So yeah, Mug Up fingerless mitts in Briggs & Little Heritage, in Plum and Fundy Fog. More will be coming. More saltwater knits anyway will be coming soonly. I'll probably finish these before the next video, which is next weekend. So fingers crossed I finish them. I should. I'll make that effort. Now I'm going to talk about my month of scrappy knitting. So I'm going with a theme for the month. So my overarching theme of the year is the Year of the Garment. But then depending on my mood, I'm picking a theme for each month. And after my gift knitting, I was so in the mood to get back to my scrappy knitting. And I was going to do a separate video talking about my plans for my month of scrappy knitting, but I never really got around to it. So I will talk about that now, bearing in mind that I only have 2 days left to meet my loosey-goosey goals. Like when I set goals for myself, I don't take them overly seriously. I don't like setting deadlines on my knitting. And knitting is supposed to be enjoyable. So everything depends on what I'm like in the mood to knit. And my mood to knit scrappy project has not wavered all month at all. I've just been enjoying the mindlessness of it and the like watching my scraps get smaller and smaller. Like that just makes me so happy. And then I've said, like, people that have been with me for a few months now and like watched a number of my videos know how much I love going into that Ravelry page of the stash and changing it to all used up. It's just the best thing ever. So that is what I've been having fun with this month. And I will go over what, oh, wrong book. I have too many books. I'll go over what I wanted to accomplish this month. Loosey-goosey goals. So I wanted to finish 6 balls of scrap yarn. I think I'm going to accomplish that if I haven't already. I think I might have. Pretty sure I did. But if not, I just have 1 more to go. I either have 5 done or I have all 6 done. I'll have to double check. I want it to cast on a trifle wrap. I will put a picture of the trifle wrap right here. It is another pattern by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and it was part of her Knit Vent pattern series for 2023. So it was just released in December, and she usually has a pattern in that series that is a Advent yarn friendly pattern, so like for using up minis. And this one holds mohair double with the fingering weight, and I have mohair like over there in that closet that are scraps. And what appeals to me about that pattern is using up those mohair scraps as well. So I am probably going to cast on a trifle wrap either today or tomorrow. It doesn't say anything about finishing it in here because that would just be quackers. Yeah, but I'll cast it on for sure. And I can't wait to pick out the yarns. Maybe I'll do that after this. I'm kind of having like a relaxing evening because of the weather, but I love spending time in my yarn room and just going through yarns and picking things out for projects. So let me do that after this. Anyway, so that was the second of 6 things that I laid out for myself. The next thing was knit 3 Advent mini socks. So this is my Christmas scrap project bag. I put all my my Christmas sock yarns scraps in here, and I didn't knit 3 little socks. I knit 4. They all there? Yeah, they're all here. I ended up knitting 4 because I wanted to like each. Oops. Because I knit. This is from the self-striping yarn from Lollipop Yarns. It's one of my favorites. She vanished off of Instagram and stuff, so I don't think you can get it anymore. And anyway, I started knitting it and I ended up with this sock. And then when I knit the second one, I ended up with, I think it was this sock. So one with like the dark green and red and one with the light green and pink. So then I kept, oh gosh, I kept going and I ended up with this sock. And when I had the 3, I was like, nah, I need 1 more to match the other one, sort of. It sort of matches, but I just was going. Anyway, this pattern is by Summer Lee. Can't remember what it's called, but it'll be down below. Yeah, so my plan for the mini Advent socks is to make myself a new Advent calendar. Instead of buying one every year, I will just buy the chocolate and refill these, and I'll have them strung on my fireplace. So I think I decided on 6 different colorways with 4 socks of each color. And they'll be alternated on the string, of course. So there's these ones, and then I'm going to use this yarn here and this one here. And I think my other self-striping I picked was this one here. And then I picked 2 self-patterning. So it's 2 like variegated or speckled, 2 self-striping and 2 self-patterning yarns is what I've gone with. So yeah, that was accomplished. I'll have to go on Etsy and find somebody who sells like the little numbers, and then I'll attach them in a way that they can be moved, or like even just if they're outside the sock, and then when that day comes, I can put tuck the number inside the sock or something, just to show like what day I'm on. But yeah, so that'll be my thing, and every year I can pick whatever chocolate I want to put in them. And maybe I'll put 2 chocolates, so then I get 2 chocolates a day instead of 1. So that's the plan with that. And then there will be other Scrappy Christmas projects. No doubt there will be a can cozy, like this one here. Tonight I am drinking non-alcoholic cider. You can get this. This is a Nova Scotia company, but you can get this at Sobeys or Superstore, and it is delicious. So can cozies, little socks. Trying to think what else. Maybe Scrappy socks? I don't know. We'll see what I'm in the mood for. But that was the next thing I wanted to get done in my month of Scrappy knitting. Okay, so the next thing was knit a kitchen mat with worsted weight yarn. And here's my other FO for the week. So this yarn was left over from my Gallus scarf. It is all Cascade 220. And I wanted to use up the scraps and go and check them off on Ravelry. So that is why I'm saying that I've completed at least 5 balls of yarn, because there's 4 here. So I started with, there's 3 worsted weight yarns held double, and I think I used a size 7 needle. Yeah, I think it was a size 7, US 7 or 4.5 millimeter. And yeah, I held 3 strands. Did I say double? Triple. It should be triple. Let's hold 3 strands triple. I started with the light blue, the darker blue, and the neutral. And when the neutral ran out, I added the light gray. And then when the light gray ran out, I added like the charcoal gray. And I knitted until I was out of the 2 blue ones. So I do still have some of the charcoal gray left, but the other ones I used up. So that was 4 out of this one that were all used up. And then I know there's 1 from a blanket, so that's 5. And if I finish my other blanket stripe, that'll be the 6 for the month, and that would be great. Now, this is not a pattern. I got the idea from Selma Knits. And I think she got this idea from someone else, and she mentioned in her video, but I can't remember who. But I did so I did this last year. This is just a little mug rug with worsted held triple again. And this was casting on 18 stitches. So I did what Selma did and did 18 stitches and slipping the first 2 stitches when you start the row. And yeah, so I used up some here on this project, and I decided to make a bigger one that I would just double the number of stitches that I cast on. So I'm using this as like a little kitchen mat. So if I take something hot out of the microwave, I carry this under my hand, or like putting anything hot down on it. And yeah, I enjoy it. Excuse me. So yeah, that is that. That is my other Scrappy project that I wanted to complete this month. And okay, so knitting a color on each blanket. I showed my jelly roll in a previous video this month, so I did work on that one. And then I showed my jigsaw puzzle blanket in an earlier video this month, and I worked on that one. I actually did more work on that one than I intended. I did more sections. Unfortunately, I don't think I used up any of the yarn in that one. But anyway, so my third blanket is my Northeasterly by Skeinianigans. And here it is. So I am working on this stripe. I did mess it up last night. So when I pick it up again, which might be shortly, I am going to tink back and fix it. I actually dropped stitches. You see that? on like where you connect to the next row. So I'm going to tink back and fix that properly because I'm only like a row or two away to fix it. Yeah. So if I complete, where's the ball of yarn? This, no, it's not this one. That's the next one. This one, it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit heftier. If I finish this one, then I will meet my goal of having 6 balls of yarn out of stash. So that is hopefully the plan. Yeah, so that is my northeasterly blanket, and yeah, so technically worked on that. I think I dropped my needle cover, but that's okay. I'm just gonna, oh no, here it is. So yeah, now that I'm looking at that mistake, I really want to fix that tonight. So that is what I'm going to do. There is that. Okay. Oh, I should put this back in too, because that's going to be the next color. And this little ball of yarn will be all used, like this yarn will be out of stash, which will be exciting for me. All right, so the last of the 6 things I wanted to accomplish was to lay out my barn raising squares. Yeah, so barn raising squares. I've been working on this project for years. I would finish socks and then knit a square, and this poor thing has been neglected. So my other goal for the month was to lay them out and have a look at how many I need to, or plan to knit, and then pick yarns for those. It wasn't to assemble this or anything like that this month. It was just to take the time to lay them out and figure out where I'm going with this. Because this poor thing, and I mean, it's going to be so beautiful when it's done. Like, and so many memories in these yarns. Like, this is my mustache droid yarn. It's a Halloween one. These were socks I knitted for my sister-in-law, I think. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is Timber Yarns. Yeah, so many pretty colors in here. Oh, look. It's the Fleece Artist K. Breton Highlands colorway, my favorite. Oh, this is a hedgehog one. Yeah, lots of good stuff here. This is one where I use like 2 yarns. These are both, I think these are both Lizzie Ann. I think. One of them has like glitter. The one on the edge has Stellina in it. But yeah, lots of good stuff there. And I didn't have super high expectations for myself. I feel like I set reasonable goals. So yeah, just laying these out and having a look at how many more I need to get the size blanket that I want will suffice. And then I'll come up with another goal to like block and seam so many in a month, and then I'll have a new blanket just like that. So that's the six goals I had. So what I have left to do is to lay that out, cast on a trifle wrap, and I have to finish one more little ball of yarn. I think that's all I have to do. Yeah, so that's realistic. And what else? Oh yes, I was going to talk about the emotional support chicken. If you have not seen this pattern, this is going to be my next like Scrappy project down the road. After cast on trifle, then emotional support chicken. It is adorable. It uses up, like if I were to hold three strands of fingering weight together, I would knit some super cute chickens. All right, who is it by? It is by Annette Corsino. And I saw it initially on Instagram, and then I see it like starting to make the rounds on YouTube and stuff, and it is just so adorable. And I'm planning on knitting several, like at least one for each of my nieces, because it is just, and they have chickens. So Anyway, yeah. Emotional support chicken. Scrappy project recommendation from me to you. You're welcome. Anyway, okay, I think that is it for today. I will see you again next weekend, and it will be my first Stash Down update of the year, my first monthly Stash Down update, because we're going to be into February on what, Thursday? Yeah, today's the 29th. So, yeah, first Stash Down update of 2024 coming at you in next weekend. So until then, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to my new subscribers who have found me and decided to click that subscribe button in the last little while. There's been quite a few of you, so thank you. And I will see you next weekend. Until then, keep crafting and take care. Bye. You didn't want to be picked up, did you? That's what you get for coming up and following.